Okay, we're live. That was kind of weird. So, yeah, had to postpone this live stream because StreamYard, I don't think it was their fault, but they were offline as well as other social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. I don't know what was going on, but I appreciate everybody that hung around in the chat, everybody that gave it a thumbs up. I didn't expect many people to still be in the chat, but appreciate y'all for being here, man. Dang, that was I put a damper on my day. I actually left to go run some errands, actually. So we're good to go now. Appreciate everybody for being here. Make sure you give it a thumbs up on your way in. Make sure you share it on whatever social media they'll allow you to share it on, whichever one is not hacked. Apparently, Facebook's domain is available for public trading now. I have no idea why or how, but something fishy is going on. I'm not saying it's cyber pandemic, but I mean, we've seen a lot of funny business go on just this year. I mean, you had the meat processing plant that was hacked. You had the oil company that was hacked. You've had constant banks getting hacked and credit card companies. And now I'm seeing that Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T are reporting outages. Something's up. There's more than just a coincidence. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and speculate because I have no idea. I'm just happy I can do my live stream on this Monday. So I just want to say, guys, I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of distractions, but do not let this fiasco happening on the internet distract you from the fact that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Okay, I just want to say that. Just remind everybody, Epstein did not kill himself. Okay, now we got that out of the way. Let's talk about a little bit of good news here. And I can only say so much, but you guys can read it. I'll read it to you, but you can find this information for yourself and read it. Merck plans to seek emergency use authorization for pill to treat the that whole situation. And so far, clinical trials have exceeded the company's expectations. Originally, they planned to blind test the treatment on 1,500 patients. Half of them were going to get treatment and the other half weren't. In the end, they stopped after about 775 of them had completed the study because the medication was so valuable to the ones that were receiving it. So it looks like we have some more alternative treatments for the 2020 sickness. And politics aside, this is a good thing. If it saves lives, if it reduces severe symptoms, I'm all for it. Like I said, I've never been an anti-vaxxer, never in my life. I support science. I support medical breakthroughs. I mean, life expectancy is what it is now because medical breakthroughs and, advancement of the human race. So this is a good thing. No politics involved here. Just, I think that's a good thing. If, we can move beyond at least the people who are not yet awake to what's really happening. But if this will allow them, this news will allow people to be more at ease and move beyond this whole cloud that we're under, then that's a good thing. I'm all for it. All right. So that's good. So yeah, check into that. Merck plans to seek emergency use authorization. I hope they get it. Now, here's something from over the weekend. That was just great. NASCAR has checked into the Joe Biden, the fun that is occurring each and every week now. And it's NFL games, it's college games, it's random people on the streets, it's food courts, and now it's NASCAR. But this is what's so funny about it. If you haven't seen it already, they are trying to do damage control here in this little video. Listen.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just watch and learn. What did you learn that helped you there in those closing laps?
Oh my God, it was
It's
learning
so loud.
how each line didn't stay to one. Everything shifted top to bottom so much.
Literally, nobody gives a damn what this dude had to say. Unfortunately, that sucks for him. Nobody is listening because of the loud chants of apparently "Let's go Brandon." Let's go Brandon, she says. Okay. I saw that was trending too. We should all say "Let's go Brandon." No, we shouldn't. Absolutely, we shouldn't. We should stick to the original phrase because it has a certain ring to it. It sounds better and it gets the point across. Nobody's going to get the joke if you just go out and start chanting "Let's go Brandon." So I hope that does not catch on. But this is hilarious. This is an every weekend trend. And again, I'm going to continue to reiterate this. There were none of these chants when Trump was in office. Never. But now you start to see people on the left respond. Like I saw Trevor Noah tweet something about "Keep politics out of football," says the crowd that's chanting "F Joe Biden." Nice try, Trevor Noah. That's not quite the same thing as a political statement or a message being made by the league itself, by players, segregated national anthems, kneeling for the American national anthem, the only national anthem that matters, putting political messages on the back of jerseys, left-wing political messages, only one side of politics involved. That's not the same thing as fans chanting their displeasure for the guy who occupies the White House. But this was funny. NASCAR is checked in. And I just hope that this goes on every single week for every single sport for the remainder of the season, every season until he's no longer in the White House. Because, I mean, everybody can see what's happening now. And you got tens of thousands of people now basically blowing up the whole narrative that he's the most popular president in U.S. history. I beg to differ. Now, we have to play this, guys. We have to suffer through the cult programming, Jim Jones-like medical figure that is flip-flopping Fauci. Okay, this interview, I just came across it from Hugh Hewitt. I've never heard of Hugh Hewitt before, but he interviewed Fauci. Okay, now this man has such a massive ego, even to the point I didn't know it was this big. Listen to what he had to say when he was pressed, because this was a pretty good interview. The guy was kind of, not really softballing him, but he didn't go as hard as he could have. Anyway, this is Fauci just loving his egotistical experience that he's having being paraded around the media. Check this out.
Dr. Fauci, I actually agree. I got the booster. I'm Mr. Vaccine. I get the same kind of heat you do.
Right.
And so what I'm saying, though, is there comes a point where it is simply a matter of fact that Tony Fauci in the era of social media is different than Tony Fauci at the beginning of HIV. And if a new face for the program developed, we would see an increase in vaccines and an increase in booster use. So if that data is presented to you, that more people would get vaccinated if you left the scene, would you leave the scene?
Hugh, I think that is a completely false narrative that people are not getting vaccinated because of me. I am very sorry. I've told you, I've known you a long time and I respect you, but I totally reject that people are not getting vaccinated because of me. Are you kidding me, Hugh? Come on.
I'm trying to explain to you the truth. I got vaccinated because of you, but there is a large segment of the American people that doesn't trust you now, and that can't be undone. So I want you to be able to just speak to them. I know your heart, I know your public service, but if you're an obstacle to getting vaccination rates up, should you step aside?
I am not an obstacle to getting vaccinations up, Hugh. That is a completely false narrative that I would have to absolutely reject.
Okay. Then if are you persuadable on facts? If people show you polling, would that change your mind?
Yeah, so people are saying I'm not getting vaccinated because Dr. Fauci is in the government. Are you kidding me?
No, actually, I believe that's the truth, doctor. I believe given. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Hugh. That is ridiculous.
How do you think you're understood by the center right, doctor? I really don't know that you know this. You might have a blind side here. How do you think you're understood? Not by conspiracy theorists. I'm not concerned with the 3%. I'm concerned with the 59%.
Yeah, but Hugh, you are creating an absolutely false narrative that people sit down and say, I know that vaccines are good. I know that they may save my life and that they may save the life of my family, and that I have a societal responsibility in order to keep this outbreak under control and to get it really under control. But I'm just not going to get vaccinated because of Tony Fauci. Hugh,
You're not hearing me.
no way.
You're not hearing
No.
me, doctor. You're not hearing me. I'm saying people see you come on and they turn off the channel because they don't like you. Whereas if a new face arrives, a new younger face that says, okay, new start, I'm never going to tell you that masks don't need to be worn because I got to. If a new person shows up, I think we're more effective. Last response to you. Doctor.
Okay, so you have Rochelle Walensky, a new young face, saying exactly.
Yeah, anyway. So this is like an 18-minute interview. And do you hear the massive ego of this man blinds him from the reality that people don't like him? We didn't even know who he was. A lot of people didn't know who he was until last year. And of course, you got the cult worship of him. People have prayed to Fauci, have Fauci candles, all that. It's really weird. There are people out there like that. You can get on Amazon right now and find Fauci products and stuff. And what has he done except lie businesses out of business, out of existence, force closed economy, fear mongering, constant flip flop, and we have all the receipts. That's the thing. He talks a lot. And he doesn't keep up with his lies, so it's easy to catch his flip flops. Okay, but the fact that he said in this interview, and I don't know if it played at the beginning, like right before I pressed play. I don't know if I started at the right part, but anyway, he said in this interview that he would not resign or step aside and, step out of the limelight. That's essentially what he's in. He's like a celebrity. He's in the limelight. He said he would not step out, even if it meant more people got jabbed. He would not step out. And the fact that he was just so dismissive, like, no, it's not possible that people don't like me. It's not possible that people are turned off. It's not possible that people tune me out when I go on CNN and talk, or MSNBC and say crazy, outlandish stuff. We've seen him get grilled in Congress. We know that he lied to Congress. He completely lied. That came out. We saw the leaked emails, and his ego is just so massive that he just either doesn't see it or doesn't care. But this interview is just telling of who this man is. He just constantly running his mouth, and he gets paraded around the media. And I think some of his statements at this point, I'm convinced that it's just for shock value, because he knows it's going to rile people up. He knows it's going to get people talking about him. He loves this more than he cares about health and truth and freedom. He cares about himself and being in this limelight and being a darling of the political left and the media. So this statement right here is, like I said, I think it's for shock value.
We can gather for Christmas, or it's just too soon to tell?
Margaret, it's just too soon to tell. We've just got to concentrating on continuing to get those numbers down and not try to jump ahead by weeks or months and say what we're going to do at a particular time. Let's focus like a laser on continuing to get those cases down. And we can do it by people getting vaccinated, and also in the situation where boosters are appropriate to get people boosted, because we know that they can help greatly in diminishing infection and diminishing advanced disease, the kinds of data that are now accumulating in real.
Okay, so see, just lots of word salad. But the big takeaway here is it's too soon to tell if it's safe for you to gather for Christmas. This is why people don't like him, don't trust him, and tune him out. Why is he singling out Christmas? It's not safe to have Christmas, but if you're of the sophisticated crowd, like the Obamas, you can have a birthday bash. Nothing to say about the Met Gala, nothing to say about the Emmys, nothing to say about the prestigious elitist gatherings at all. Nothing to say about packed college football stadiums, Lollapalooza, 100,000 daily attendees. But he cherry-picked Sturgis and said, I think this is irresponsible to have an outdoor event with motorcycles. It's not a good thing to have a bunch of motorcycles and people outdoors gathering for an event in Sturgis, South Dakota. So people see right through this. And all he's doing is constant fear mongering and programming the cultists that follow him and believe everything he says. Well, I guess it's not safe to have Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner. I guess I won't gather in a small group of people that I know, people I'm related to, but it's totally fine to go to a gigantic birthday bash or go to a concert. So he has nothing to say about that. So it's not safe to hang out on Christmas, but you can totally just do it, go to a concert, do all the fun stuff, which I think is fine to do. I think that's cool, but I'm pointing out his double standards. I don't know about you, but if my doctor flip-flopped as much as this man, I would be looking for a new doctor. I mean, this is maddening. The fact that he continues to traffic in these lies, continues to get paraded around, and we know that it works on people that just follow blindly this man, even though you can play clips of Fauci flip-flopping on certain things that I don't even want to get into because, it might trip up the algorithms here. But I mean, all the information is right there online of this man lying and flip-flopping. And then his ego is so massive. He laughs and says, that is a complete false narrative that people are not taking my advice. I mean, they're completely out of touch. Completely out of touch. And the fact that he said he wouldn't step aside, even if he knew that it would make a difference, he still wouldn't step aside because then that means nobody talks about him anymore. So this is all about him. This is all about him. He has a vested interest in keeping this going because everybody's looking to him. Oh, what does Lord Fauci say? Father Fauci, what does he have to say about this? What do we do next? Which variant is coming next, Father Fauci? That's not it. He had this other gem of a clip over the weekend.
But you are a member of society. And as a member of society, reaping all the benefits of being a member of society, you have a responsibility to society. And I think each of us, particularly in the context of a pandemic that's killing millions of people, you have got to look at it and say there comes a time when you do have to give up what you consider your individual right of making your own decision for the greater good of society. But you are
there comes a time where you have to give up your ability to make personal choices for the greater good, according to who? Says who? This man? Says Fauci? Says Biden? You have to give up your freedom? You have to give up your ability to make your own choices for the greater good? I hate that whole term. Greater good. Do this for the greater good. You need to do this to yourself for the greater good. And then he wonders why people don't like him. He wonders why people tune him out. He gets pressed in that interview and he starts getting upset. He's like, that is a false narrative, just like it was a false narrative about the funding sent to the Wuhan lab. Just like the gain of function research. Oh, that's a false narrative. You're just trying to smear me. He just plays the victim role. But he's saying that basically your freedom is a privilege. And if you haven't noticed, a lot of what the media has been doing over the past couple of years is trying to convince people that their freedom is selfish and dangerous. That's what you call programming, conditioning of the mind to believe, well, it's probably wrong for me to want to live the life that I was born to live the way God intended, to be a free, sovereign individual, have dominion over my own body. That's wrong, dangerous, and selfish. It's actually better if I just surrender the power to all these other people and let them make a one-size-fits-all solution or one-size-fits-all decision for everybody. That's better than me deciding what's best for me. It's better if I just surrender and let a handful of people make decisions for everyone else. You see how that works? That's how you get communism. People have this rosy view of communism on the left that it's like, no, we all own everything. You know, there is no class system. We're all the same. Yeah, all equally poor, except there's always going to be a ruling class. Every single regime, a totalitarian regime, had a ruling class. There's always going to be a ruling class. There's always going to be people in power, people making decisions, people trying to organize society. And you don't know what their intentions are. 9 times out of 10, they're corrupt if they want that much power. And because human nature lends or tends to lean towards, people putting their own interests first, that's why you need to have limited power, because humans have the tendency to be corrupt, get drunk on their power. They can become abusive. So because we know that about humans, any human being could be susceptible to that. Corruption, greed, anybody who can do that should have limited power. It's as simple as that. You can get people on the left. I've talked about this many times. You can get people on the left to agree with you that government is corrupt. But then, without even recognizing the cognitive dissonance, they would vote for more of it. Their solutions to the problems that we have as a society is we need regulation. We need them to do this. You're basically asking the same corrupt government to repair itself and do right by you. But you just acknowledge that it's corrupt. You just acknowledge that they have too much power. So how can the solution be the problem that has already been created? So I bring all that back to say, Fauci, this is why people don't like you. You need to just go. You made your millions. You're still raking in the dough. Just get off TV. Stop telling people that it's too dangerous. And we don't know yet if you can get together on Christmas, but you say nothing about everything else going on. That means you don't take it seriously. So why should we take you seriously? He's a fraud. Moving on, because this is what I really want to talk about today. Pennsylvania House Democrat introduces forced sterilization 3-child limit legislation. Didn't I just say like 20 seconds ago that people don't always have the best intentions? And if they have too much power, it never ends up well for you, for the people that are governed. It never ends up well. This is some Chinese Communist Party style sterilization. Yes, this is a real article. And matter of fact, I got the tweets. I'm really surprised he hasn't deleted the tweets. So this is Rep. Chris Rabb out of Illinois. Or not Illinois. I'm sorry. Not Illinois. Pennsylvania. Chris Rabb out of Pennsylvania. He says, I will be introducing a bill inspired by Rep. Kelly Cassidy that requires all inseminators to undergo #vasectomies within 6 weeks of having their 3rd child or 40th birthday, whichever comes first. So he's referring to men as inseminators. I don't know if he's trying to be politically correct because, men can get pregnant. And so maybe he didn't want to say men, because maybe women can impregnate men. I assume if men can get pregnant, that means women can impregnate them. But then I don't know. I lose track of all of the crazy woke trash, the non-scientific terms that they're using now. It's like, the gender binary thing, but then everyone should be a feminist, but also there's no gender. Anyway, he's calling people inseminators. You're not even a human anymore. You're just an inseminator. This is like eugenicist language. Margaret Sanger, who is in the thumbnail of this stream, people are like, who's that old creepy woman? That's Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood, well-known eugenicist. Hillary Clinton admired her vision. Look into that statement. She actually said it. Anyway, she called Black people useless eaters. So they can dehumanize you, useless eaters. What did I say? How they dehumanize MAGA. They dehumanize Trump supporters. You're just deplorables, dregs of society, chumps, maggots. They call, and the unvaccinated. They have all these terms to describe people now. So inseminators are supposed to undergo, if his bill passes, which is psychotic. I mean, this is so fringe and so extreme. I have a hard time believing that even Democrats in the state of Pennsylvania will support this. But the fact that any elected official would be this extreme and this radical and post it on social media, bragging about how, because he wants to build his legacy. So he sees this is probably instrumental to his legacy, to come with such an extreme measure to try to curb new children being born and call people inseminators. I mean, anybody this extreme, this is alarming. So his tweet thread goes on to say hashtag repro justice, hashtag reproductive rights, hashtag abortion is healthcare. Then next tweet, my forthcoming bill will codify the definition of hashtag wrongful conception to include when a person has demonstrated negligence towards preventing hashtag conception during intercourse. So he's saying that if you wrongfully impregnate someone, which doesn't really sound like rape, so I don't think he's referring to that. Wrongfully impregnate someone. I'm sorry, if two consenting adults have sex, if they get pregnant, that's on them. If the woman gets pregnant, I mean, that's on them. It takes two to tango. He's trying to bring down the hammer on one side, the inseminator, and saying it wrongful conception. See, already denying the humanity of the unborn child, right? The person has no say-so in the matter. But then wanting to force sterilize somebody at the age of 40. I mean, this is one of the most psychotic things I've seen. And for him to have this whole tweet thread, let's just continue. He says, this legislation will allow Pennsylvanians to take civil action against inseminators for unwanted hashtag pregnancies who wrongfully conceive a child with them. How does that work exactly? How can you go after somebody for wrongfully impregnating you? Unless it's rape, then you should call the police. You should file charges, obviously. That's different. It doesn't sound like he's talking about that, because he would just call it that. He would just say rape. He's not referring to unwanted sex. He's saying unwanted pregnancy. I'm sorry. So the woman has no role in this? The man obviously can wear a condom, but women, there's come on, man. Do I really have to go into this? This is psychotic. Oh man, let me just get through this, guys. Let me get through it. So last, the bill will empower Pennsylvanians to enforce this prospective law by offering $10,000 for reporting to the proper authorities those hashtag scofflaws who have not complied with the statute within the allotted time frame. So $10,000 reward to people who snitch on their neighbors. Where have we seen that before? Snitching on your neighbors. If your neighbor, his 40th birthday is coming up, and I don't know how you would find out that he hasn't been snipped so that he can't have any more kids, but he wants to incentivize people to snitch on their neighbors so he can obviously bring legal action against them if they do not get a vasectomy. I can't believe this is in the United States of America. I don't care if somebody is going to say this is so fringe, it's so whatever. This is an elected state rep in Pennsylvania talking about forced sterilization, 3-kid policy, just like China's, what did they have, a 1-child policy? This is eugenics right here. This is straight up out of Margaret Sanger's book. This is crazy. And you know what else is crazy about this? He proudly represents Philadelphia. That's what he says in his little bio, his Twitter bio. He talks about how he represents Philadelphia. There's a lot of black people in that city. So you're saying that obviously you don't want black babies born because you're talking about wrongful conception, but then you want to punish the father of the child by making it so that he cannot reproduce. Let me ask everybody on the internet right now a question. If you were actually a racist, if you were a legitimate racist, like I cannot stand black people, I can't stand them, would you be for abortion or against it? Would you be pro-life or would you be pro-death? Because that's what abortion is, pro-death. They have to call it abortion because pro-death doesn't sound good. when you tell the truth about what actually is, it doesn't sound good. But anyway, would you want black babies aborted or born? You know how they say Ayanna Pressley, with her ridiculous statement last week that Texas's abortion ban, their heartbeat bill, is white supremacy. It's rooted in white supremacy. You mean white supremacy is allowing more black children to be born in the state of Texas? That's why you're upset as a black woman? And this guy, he's black. He's over there talking about forced sterilizations for black men. Make no mistake about it. Black women have a ton of abortions. Planned Parenthoods are targeted towards black people. You can literally get on Google Maps. If you know a city well enough and you know where the black areas are, you can type in Planned Parenthood and see where they are on a map. And they're in black neighborhoods. You had Oprah Winfrey talking about shout your abortion. They really always, every time they talk about abortion rights, oh, they're coming after women's rights. And this particularly affects people of color, black women, black birthing people. Don't get me started. Let me stay on track. They say it affects black people. And that's why they're upset. They're upset, literally upset that black people cannot kill their babies. They want less black people born. Now, mind you, we're in the most medically advanced, economically advanced, technologically advanced, politically advanced country on earth. Black people have been in America for how long? A long time. And yet we're still just 12.5 to 13% of the population. Riddle me that. How is it in a first world country you have a particular race of people that has not grown in numbers since the 1600s? We've been on this soil. Some would say even further than that, earlier than that, but don't want to get into that. Black people have been here for hundreds of years in this country. And with, like I said, everyone, for the most part, outside of maybe a few places in Michigan, people have clean drinking water, food, all the resources necessary. Obviously, we know that this is a great country for black people, or they wouldn't be coming to the southern border by the tens of thousands. So black people know it's good here. But you got black people in positions of power, particularly Oprah Winfrey, Shout Your Abortion, Michelle Obama. They always come out. They get the black faces to push Margaret Sanger's original message, original plan to exterminate the Negro population. You got black people promoting this, calling it healthcare, talking about forced conception and inseminators. That is population control. So you're pushing the eugenicist message of Margaret Sanger and Bill Gates, who's also known eugenicist. You'll see how this all ties together. These people are so just god-awful, wicked, and evil, and we got to call them out. They're so evil. This is so wicked and evil. To try to pass through some legislation that would force people to no longer have children because, again, forced medical procedures. Where have we seen this in the past? We've seen it plenty times before. Those who do not understand history are doomed to repeat it. We are repeating history right now. We're bringing back Jim Crow style segregation, apartheid style, medical apartheid, forced inoculations, forced medical procedures, discrimination. All of that is coming back right now. And now eugenics, population control. So he says, I'm going to wrap up with this tweet. He says, as long as legislators continue to restrict #reproductive rights of cis women, trans women, non-binary folks with an X, there should be laws to address the responsibility of men who impregnate them. So, yeah. So he's openly lashing out at men, particularly black men. Like I said, he's talking about black men. Everybody, in theory, everybody does get abortions and has sex, all that stuff. But we all know that it's the majority of black women that are getting abortions. or that are represented in abortions. Don't want to mince words there. The majority of abortions are represented by Black women, which he doesn't want born. And he's calling it reproductive rights. That is double speak. That's the inversion of reality I always talk about. Inversion. Yeah, and this is Chinese style, Chinese communist style control and tyranny. This top-down government control of every aspect of your life. They want to control everything down to what goes in your body, what grows in your body. It's an attack on nature and science. It's an attack on common sense. Are you telling me that two grown consenting adults have sex and that is somehow a wrong conception? And you're going to incentivize people to snitch. You'll give them a $10,000 reward for ratting on people who don't get this medical procedure that he wants them to get. So I'm waiting for more people to cover this because I feel like this is a huge story, even though it's just some random guy in Pennsylvania. He's not so random when you consider he's a lawmaker. So let's go to his page here. This guy right here, Chris Rabb. And he says, yeah, proud dad, rabble rouser, public servant, representing the people of Northwest Philly in PA's 200 legislative district. His pronouns are he, him, in case you guys were wondering. I didn't know if you guys cared or not, but those are his pronouns. I mean, this is so crazy. These people are insane. They need to be called out. They need their power limited. If you live in Pennsylvania, you may want to give him a phone call and just ask him why he supports this. Why is he pushing forced sterilization? Why does he get to decide that at age 40, you can't have kids because I said so? And also, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to use the executive power to come after you, extort money from you, put you in a cage, whatever else. Evil people, y'all. Evil. Call evil by its name. That's what these people are. Moving on to something else. Not as heavy. Jason Aldean says he will never apologize for his beliefs as he defends his family's anti-Biden Instagram posts. Oh, is that what we're doing now? So for 4 years, you had celebrities, musicians carry out mock sacrifices of Trump. Remember Kathy Griffin held up the severed head of Trump, Snoop Dogg mock assassination, Johnny Depp talking about assassination, Madonna talked about blowing up the White House. You had all these celebrities, singers, songwriters. You had the song F Donald Trump. You had people from all the sides of Hollywood and entertainment hating on Trump, hating you for supporting him. But Jason Aldean is under scrutiny because his wife posted some Instagram pictures that were not pro-Biden, and he has to answer to that. His official statement was, I will never apologize for my beliefs or my love for my family and country. This is the greatest country in the world, and I want to keep it that way. Sounds like he's a patriot to me. Now, these are the photos that are so racy and so edgy and dangerous for the internet that he has to apologize for. It just says anti-Biden social club. That's it. That's what his wife posted. Brittany Aldean. That's what she posted. Anti-Biden social club. But this is probably what really triggered the people who got really upset. Their kids are wearing hiding from Biden t-shirts. Hiding from Biden. And I saw the comments. I saw people tweet on it. Brittany Aldean is disgusting. She's a home-wrecking gold digger. She's promoting this hatred of Biden, politicizing kids. I'm sorry. Do you guys like have memory of like goldfish? Because last time I checked, y'all been politicizing kids for as long as I can remember. And again, where have we seen that before in history, where kids are used as instruments to carry out a political agenda? That's all the left ever does is politicize kids. Go to any classroom. You'll see pictures of Mao, not any classroom, obviously, but there has been well documented. You can get on TikTok right now and find woke teachers bragging about pushing propaganda and sexualizing their students. So you're mad that they have t-shirts that says hiding from Biden. And oh, by the way, it has the benefit of being true. They probably should hide from Biden because we've seen, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred videos and photos of the guy sitting in the White House, sniffing children, sniffing babies, groping children, commenting on the looks of a 9-year-old girl. It's on camera. You can find it on the internet. No outrage there, but you're mad about Jason Aldean and his wife putting their kids in a shirt that says hiding from Biden. Ooh, so dangerous. You're not allowed to be anti-Biden. But if they had anything that said, I'm glad Trump is gone, they'd get a bunch of likes. Nobody would care. Nobody would say anything about it. Double standards, fake, phony, hypocrites. And oh, by the way, we got a receipt on you. You guys remember this? When then candidate AOC went to a bunch of kids to politicize them. Y'all remember this?
Running for lieutenant governor for the whole state, and I am I'm the Democratic nominee for Congress out here, so I'm going to go to D.C. We're going to be fighting Trump.
That's crazy.
But we need your
And the kids get so excited.
help to fight Trump. So this is what I need you all to do.
Oh, look at the kid right there. You see that?
But in order to
Hold on.
That's crazy.
But we need your
And the kids get so excited.
help to fight Trump. So this is what I need you all to do. I don't like Trump. But I don't like Trump. But in order to think about it, this is what we need to do. When you go back home,
Me and my son.
yeah. So when you go home,
The name of the
you talk
program is
to
Team Trivia.
your mom, your dad, your aunt, your
And we
grandma,
do questions
sister,
and
brother,
answers,
anybody who's over
landmarks,
the age of
we do
18 that
history,
can vote.
not
First,
just
we need to
hours
ask your
of
parents
every
to
night.
vote. Because if they don't vote, then we can't kick out.
Check it out.
Okay?
Because
Trump
Trump
How is that not illegal? Going to these kids, this is old, by the way, if you're wondering. This is from 2018. This is before she was elected. And now she's a sitting member of Congress. You think she stopped doing this? You know, politicizing kids? That goes way deeper than just wearing t-shirts. Going to kids, say, hey, I need your help to fight Trump. Will you encourage your parents to vote Democrat? See, it's basically, if kids are fortunate enough to be born and escape the womb because they don't want them here, they figure, well, they might as well be useful to our agenda. So we might as well capture their minds while they're young, and use them to advance our political agenda. Let's radicalize them about climate change, about guns, about a bunch of stuff. So that's why they have these walkouts, the kids. They got all these kids afraid, thinking the world is going to end in 10 years. If we don't, stage a walkout and hold up signs about climate change. AOC said we only have 12 years to live. Yeah, kids believe that, unfortunately. And these politicians know it. That's why they want to lower the voting age to 16. That's why they use people like Greta Thunberg to push climate change narratives. That's why they had David Hogg to push gun control. They use kids all the time, but they're mad at Jason Aldean for his wife posting a photo of their kids being anti-Biden, as if that's somehow taboo. You're not allowed to be anti-Biden. Not on Instagram. Asking him to apologize. Do you have anything to say for yourself, sir, for being a political opponent of Joe Biden, for speaking your mind? So they're really outraged that people are waking up. People are seeing this. It seems like the tide really genuinely has turned away from there's still a ton of celebrities that are pushing this agenda, but there are more speaking out now than ever at any point in time, at any point in Trump's presidency. And they have a huge influence on their followers. I mean, people that go to their concerts, people that listen to their podcasts, they have way more power than I do. So it's good to see them waking up And I love that she left this tweet up because this is just one random tweet that I happen to find where a sitting member of Congress is actively politicizing kids she doesn't even know. She just went up to some kids and said, "Hey, we're going to get Trump out of here. We need your help, kids. We're going to fight Trump." So I don't ever want to hear anything about people politicizing kids, politicizing sports. No, this is a backlash to you politicizing kids, politicizing sports. This is people fighting back. So you're mad that people are standing up to your BS? You're upset about that? Get out of here. Moving along. St. Louis priest is placed on sabbatical for his conservative stance and for not wearing a mask. Well, the Catholic Church has probably fallen at this point. I mean, the wokest pope in history. I mean, we don't even need to get into it, but this headline is just, this is where we are now. A conservative Catholic priest is now on a sabbatical because he doesn't want to toe the line. So they got to crack down on him. We're in a fallen state, guys. We just are. That's where we are. And I think I've covered everything. That was okay. We're at 46 minutes. It feels like it's only been like 30 minutes. That's everything I had to say. I don't think this has to be a throwaway stream. I'm just using the term throwaway stream, meaning I may just have to delete it afterwards. That's what I thought for last week's stream. But I think it's fine. I don't think I had too much right-wing extremism, not too much, medical misinformation. I didn't spread any dangerous ideas. I just promoted, protecting children, in the womb. And then also once they're on the other side of the womb and they're here, got to protect the kids because they're being preyed upon before they're born and after they're born. These people are absolutely, positively, without a shadow of a doubt, wicked, evil monsters, and they must be exposed. We got to shine a light on this darkness. Talking about some forced sterilizations, man. Let's see where that goes. Let's see if anybody else reports on that. And you can find that story on his Twitter page. Again, let me go back to his name. If you want to look it up, Christopher M. Rabb, Pennsylvania Democrat, talking about sterilizing his constituents for, wrong conceptions or unwanted pregnancies. And I think it's a response to Texas's ban on abortion. It's like, fine, we'll just go after the men and make sure they can't have any more. No more kids. You can only have 3. Says the guy who probably has Mao's Little Red Book. I mean, they're telling you who they are now. They're telling you. The co-founder of BLM bragged that her writings have been compared to Mao's Little Red Book. She called herself a trained Marxist. I tell you, they're calling it healthcare. They're using all of these terms. They're trying to manipulate what we've known to be true all these years. And now they're saying, actually, no, it's healthcare. It's a human right. It's a constitutional right. And yeah, let's advance our agenda to depopulate, destabilize, and destroy humanity. It's a war on humanity. You can't tell me any different. If that's not a direct war on humanity, I don't know what is. Sounds like China, but it's right here in good old Pennsylvania. Anyway. Oh, God bless you, DM. Thank you for being here. Joey says Satan is a Democrat. I think Satan's a little worse than a Democrat. I mean, here's the thing. We're never going to have a society where 100% of people get along and it's all kumbaya. I mean, it's fun to fantasize about red states breaking away and it's all conservative. But even if red states break away, there's still lefties within that state. So how do you coexist, especially when some of the more extreme factions of the left want to destroy you, want to control you, control your kid. They want to control every aspect of your existence. But there are a lot of like old school Democrats that I know some people. A lot of the people that I know, friends and family, before I was ever like engaged in politics, they're all Democrats. They're all on the left. Now, I never knew this really because politics wasn't plastered everywhere. It wasn't at football games. It wasn't on billboards. It wasn't on talk shows. It really wasn't. It really hadn't spread throughout our society. Now it's like metastasized everywhere. Everywhere is political. So anyway, I say all that to say, I got along with a lot of people before politics, and there are people that you have to learn to share the world with. You just do. Now, the ones that don't like you, the ones that don't want anything to do with you, keep them as far away from me as possible. But I think of people like Bill Maher, Tim Pool. Okay, fine, I get it. People can't stand Bill Maher, but guess what? Bill Maher seems to like America. He's at least calling out some things. I guess two things can be true at once, right? I just tell people that all the time to vote. If they wanted to vote for Trump, hey, you don't have to like his personality. What about his policies? Do his policies make sense? Okay, you don't have to get a MAGA hat, but maybe think about voting for him. Now, the classic liberals, the people that they like the country, they maybe disagree. They probably support abortion and all that stuff. What can I do to stop them from thinking that abortion should be legal? Not a whole lot. But it's the evil people that I feel like they represent something completely different that is not the traditional Democrat. So this is not your grandfather's Democrat Party, Joey. This is Satan's Communist Party. I don't even know if you call it communist at that point. It's just evil. It's just pure evil. Somebody said, I didn't hear this, but wow, not a stunner, typical socialist morons. China will be in control if it keeps going this way with the Dems. They were never this bad. It's totally crazy, out of control. Yeah, I remember that. I'm old enough to remember when everything wasn't so politicized, when people weren't so radical, people weren't so extreme. So something is clearly changed. Thank you, Linda, for reminding people. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Make sure that if you have not yet, subscribe to my second channel, Mike Nificent 813. Search that right now. The links are also in the chat. They're also in the description here. Make sure you subscribe to that channel and turn on the bells so that you don't miss a live stream, because at some point I'll be live on that one again. Depends on the topics. If it's not safe to be on this channel, it will be on that one. Everything on this channel is backed up on Odyssey as well as BitChute. I'm also on Rumble. I will be live streaming on Rumble at some point, probably before the end of the year. That's my goal anyway. We'll see how that goes. But if you don't know about those platforms, please download them. They're alternative to YouTube and Facebook and all the social media companies that coincidentally aren't working very well today. So follow me on those platforms, but also sub to my second channel. Thank you. That's it. That's all I had to say about it. Thank you, Robert. Linda says, Mike, I appreciate you and pray for you and your family. Oh, I pray you and your family will be blessed and protected in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much. And what else do we have in the chat here? It's going so slow, so I'm sure people are typing, but I won't see it for like a minute or so. I don't know why. It's kind of annoying. Dragon Slayer says it's a NWO globalist takeover, all done by the Illuminati. Satan says he's the light. We know that lie, but many don't know and follow it. I mean, yeah. I just feel like the evil spirit of the Antichrist is moving through the world. Like, can't you just see everything getting crazier, more extreme, more radical, more just outside of this world? Seems to happen by the day. But you're also seeing more people wake up, more people using their platforms to reach people. You're seeing protests. You're seeing the backlash. Grow food, defend your house. I'm in the process of doing that, actually. Growing my own food. Get yourself some heirloom seeds. Start propagating in your backyard. Set up a little greenhouse. Grow fruits and vegetables. Grow leafy greens, stuff that you don't have to grow, like plant perennial stuff. You know, I think it's very smart to do that if you can. And if you don't have a house, you don't have a backyard, man, set it up in your apartment. If they don't evict you for, not getting the whatchamacallit. Luciano says the Communocrats depend on communist China because the Soviet Union is no more, and they're still butthurt over that. Yeah, something's going on, especially with this social media outage today. And now supposedly it's affecting the cell phone providers too. Though I haven't had any issues with my phone today. Robert says, my 14-year-old nephew is based as heck. There is still hope for the future. There is. Raise your kids right. There is hope. There's always hope. There is always hope. You cannot lose hope. You can't lose faith. Because if you don't have your hope and your faith, you don't have nothing. My Insta and FB are down. Yeah, that's a global thing. It's a global outage. I almost feel like this is good. People are being forced to take a social media detox, right? Withdrawal from it. Just, that's what I think. It's got to be a good thing. And the fact that it's impacting everyone. Oh no, I can't browse through my news feed. I can't look at those pictures somebody posted. I can't find Tark videos. If people still watch those on Facebook. Now it's TikTok. Obama's the Antichrist. I've heard that before. I don't know. Seems like Fauci would be the Antichrist. Since he came out of nowhere, all of a sudden he was like the main talking head, and he's still being sought after for his wisdom and expertise. And he really likes himself. He really, really likes himself. He would not stand down. He would not back out of the spotlight, even if it meant that people who don't like him, don't trust him, are suspicious of him, would start to, I guess, I don't even know how to word it. If they started doing what he wants them to do. If their biggest hangup was, I just don't trust Fauci. Who else actually is saying that? And to be fair, to his credit, I don't think there are many people left who haven't gotten the procedure because of him. They have other reasons why. He just solidifies why you're like, yeah, I don't know if I trust this advice. Here we go. Jennifer Hoffman with a base comment right here. Bill Gates' parents headed Planned Parenthood. He was groomed to be a eugenicist, that he is. That is a fact check true. People didn't know that. Bill Gates comes from a eugenicist bloodline. Bill Gates, who hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, who was trying to figure out how to preserve his semen so that he could repopulate the world with little Jeffrey Epsteins. Wouldn't that be amazing? So that's what Jeffrey Epstein wanted to do. Is he thought there were not enough of his bloodline, his offspring and descendants in the world. I don't know if he had kids, don't care. But he wanted to reproduce on a mass scale. He wanted to be sperm donor number one for everybody. To try to create some kind of, I don't know, master race? Where have we heard that before? So it's Bill Gates, it's Margaret Sanger back in the day, it's this rep from Pennsylvania, it's Leanna Wen, who used to be on the board, or she had some high up position at Planned Parenthood. It's all these eugenicists. When these billionaires get together every year to meet offline, do you think they're talking about how they can improve your life? When Oprah and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and the Rockefellers and the Rothschild bankers, when all those elites, those big billionaires get together every year, what do you think they're talking about? Do you think they're talking about it's our responsibility to make sure that Mike and his family are taken care of, so we should probably uphold the Constitution and make sure that government doesn't intrude. We should fund candidates to run for office that will preserve liberty, freedom, and the Constitution? Do you think they talk about that? Or do you think they talk about how they don't have enough power and control? I mean, Bill Gates literally told you, if we do a good job with reproductive health care, we can reduce the population of the planet by, what did he say, 9% or something like that? He said a number. I don't remember what it was. But you can find the clip from the TED Talk. Has he ever answered any questions about that? No, he hasn't? Okay. So these eugenicists, they all run together. They all run together. It's all tied together. What are the odds that Bill Gates, a eugenicist who is heavily invested in big pharma, was on TV trying to dictate public health policy after he held Event 201? He's connected to Jeffrey Epstein, flew to that pedophile island multiple times. He was on the flight logs. He thinks the world is overpopulated. Also affiliated with the spirit cooking Marina Abramovic witch person. What are the odds they're all tied together? And of course, he's tied together with the Clintons. How do the world's worst people all just so happen to know each other? I guess that's just a coincidence, right? It's a coincidence that Hillary Clinton, for example, knows Bill Gates, very close to Bill Gates, very close to Epstein, very close to Weinstein, very close to Ed Buck. Remember Ed Buck, the guy that was injecting black men with meth in his apartment and they kept dying? And finally, after the third one, the cops were like, all right, we got to bring this guy in. How are the world's worst people all connected? And they're all telling you what you should be doing with your body. Just food for thought. Just something to think about. I should probably wrap this stream up before I go even further down this rabbit hole and get myself in trouble for all my wrong thinking, right-wing extremism, guys. It's very extreme, very dangerous stuff. Dangerous content. Gates is the largest landowner now in the U.S. Why? If I had that much money, I wouldn't want to try to control humanity, which is probably why I don't have that much money. How do you accumulate that much wealth without towing some kind of line? I don't remember who was talking about this, but I think I might have saw it in another YouTuber's video that I watched. But he brought up the fact that there are a lot of documentaries and books on wealthy families and how corrupt they've been over the years, corrupt politicians over the years, how they have like a strong apparatus of well-connected, wealthy people with not super great intentions. How we have all this information, we know that it's true, and yet a portion of the country and of the world, for that matter, just wants to ignore it. They just want to deny it. They're mad that Ron DeSantis isn't a dictator. They're mad that government isn't big enough. They're mad that they can't use the government as a weapon to use against you. the person who opposes all of this evil. The person that opposes all of this evil, you, me, others out there, anybody with a voice that's speaking out against everything that's happening in our world, we oppose the evil. But you got people who they either can't see it or they don't want to see it, that they're being used by all these evil people to come after us so that we're bickering, so that we're fighting. And then we all get destroyed at the end. You know? So they're mad that, Ron DeSantis isn't a dictator. They're mad. Greg Abbott, why isn't he crushing everyone's freedom? It's wild, you guys. But all of the signs are out there. They're telling you who they are. You got 666 popping up everywhere. HR Bill 6666. Fauci and the Eco Health Alliance donated $666,000 to the Wuhan Lab of Virology. Why would they donate that amount? Why not 600,000? Why not zero? But why would they choose that number? Come on, man. Satanic worship showing up in live broadcasts. People throwing up Baphomet signs. I mean, come on. Super Bowl halftime shows. The evil is right there. It's right there in plain sight. They don't hide it. They're getting more bold and aggressive. Seems like things are heating up. As truth is being delivered, people actually doing the Lord's work, exposing all the evil. People, Project Veritas, as all of this information is coming out, as people can see what's going on, you're seeing censorship accelerate. You're seeing hostility accelerate. They're trying to accelerate this agenda. When you got state reps talking about forced sterilization, trying to sterilize you so that you don't reproduce, because what did Bill Gates say on the TED Talk? So Jimmy said, stop worrying about all the 666 crap. It's a distraction. From what? The people that are promoting this, you're telling me HR Bill 6666 is a distraction? Read the bill. Go look at that bill. Have you ever looked at that bill? Tell me about that bill. It's a distraction. No, it's directly related. Bill Gates gets teabagged by Big Mike. What? Can't believe I read that out loud. That was wild. I'm sure y'all have already discussed this. Facebook is down. Seems like Telegram is acting up too. Yeah, that's been going on all day. Actually, this stream was supposed to take place at 12:30 Eastern. I was just about to send out the tweet that I send right before a live stream. And then I realized maybe I should hold off because my internet's acting funny. I was going to reset my router. And then some told me to check Twitter because StreamYard usually never has any problems. And then, of course, all these social media companies are down. They're not working. So Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and StreamYard and some others, I don't know, have not been working. And it's, I guess, as far as I know, they're still down. So I don't know. Yes, the social media platforms are down. None of the alternatives, though. People are not hiding who they are anymore. It's out there in your face. It's so true. Alex said, Q drops legit in y'all's opinion? No. You want to talk about distractions, okay? Let's talk distractions. Any of this Red October, Trump's getting reinstated. Come on, y'all. This is getting embarrassing. It's just getting embarrassing. I say it with love because I know there are people that follow me that believe this. It's all going to happen. This is all part of the plan. No, we just covered what the plan is. That plan is being carried out right now. All of this, the White House was lit up red. That means Red October. That is a distraction. sit back and do nothing. Let the good guys in government handle it. The deep state's being taken down. I remember all these lies from 2020. They were lies. It started with the 5G towers. They're spreading like I can't say it, but the 5G towers, that was a big thing. That turned out to be a lie. And then people talking about, yes, they're leading children out of tunnels under DC. I don't doubt that there's some funny business going on. No doubt. But there was no good guys in government saving your life last year. None. I mean, Trump was basically a one-man show. The deep state is much deeper than that. The deep state is people in the CIA, the FBI, the CDC. It's government bureaucracies that are unelected and unaccountable to the people that vote for politicians who appoint them. That's what's going on. So I say all that to say, no, there is not going to be anybody that comes to save your life or save our country. We have to save our country. Don't get me wrong. I made the mistake at one point thinking there's something going on and I have a good feeling about it. But that was before I learned more about what's happening. Early on, I'm like, yeah, Trump got elected for a reason. There's a reason why all the people that I think are pretty terrible don't like him. So let me pay attention, finding out about the media's lies. I was very much aware of that. But then as we got into 2020 and I started to see the way things were unfolding, I'm like, I don't think there's any good guys in government that are trying to save us. I don't think that that's a thing. I think that is to neutralize opposition. Just sit back, enjoy your popcorn, and trust the plan as things get done. No, sit by as your country is taken down in controlled demolition style is what that is. That is controlled opposition psyop. So that's what I think of it. And how do I know that that's probably what it is? Because nobody in Congress has asked to bring Q to testify about January 6th. Nobody in Congress ever talks about it. You get propaganda hit pieces on the people who followed it, which I think is really sad. People need to snap out of it. But they did this similar thing during the Bolshevik Revolution. They had a similar psyop to neutralize opposition. So that's what I think. Alex says deep state can't be taken down on a weekend. You got that right. Thank you for becoming a member. Got a new member, Jay Kohler. Thank you so much. A lot of new people here from Salty Cracker. Sean says the Dems will not allow Trump to get back in office. Yeah, he snuck past them the first time around. They were prepared in 2020. I'll just put it that way. They were prepared. 2016, they were caught off guard, which is why they mocked him. This is why they laughed. That's why when Ann Coulter went on Bill Maher, she was on Bill Maher with Joy Reid and other people, and he was like, who do you think has the best chance of Republicans to get the nomination? And Ann Coulter's like, right now, Donald Trump. They all laughed at her. I want to say it was either Seth Meyers or Stephen Colbert. That was like, I'm begging him to run. No, it was John Oliver. Please run, Trump, please. They mocked him. And then he won. And then everything changed. Everything started to change. Change for the better on one end, but change for the worst on the other. And now you're starting to see a collision of these forces of good, forces of evil. I don't care if you believe in God or whatever. You have to see that there's good people and bad people. There's two sides fighting against each other. One side has truth and light and love and freedom and all that stuff. And the other side is control, cult, just deceivers. Right? It's so obvious. It cannot be more obvious than it is right now. Real Life says they want you to believe you should hold the line. The division has already happened. Now they are conquering. Yeah, I think that we are all kind of guilty because we all live in this bubble. We're all kind of still kind of in the matrix, even though a lot of us have our minds turned on, so we're aware. We can kind of see through the programming. We still kind of get caught up in the left right paradigm, the dog and pony show. I mean, all the ways that they divide us, black and white, vaxxed, unvaxxed. It's a lot of different ways that they divide us. Because, hey, if you divide the people, they will never look where they should be looking. Looking at the people who are dividing us. They just got their laser pointer like, hey, look over there, cats. It's just, yeah. So I think the division is a distraction. Yes. Yes, the cult works both sides. Long Tong Sun said the cult works both sides. Yeah, it does. It does. Absolutely it does. But who has all the power? Think about this. Who controls the educational structure? Who's on school boards? Who decides what goes in history books? Who's the bigger problem? I'm happy to call out both sides. I've had people say this all the time. You know, it's both sides of this and that. Yeah, it's both sides. But who is committing the biggest amount? Like, who committed the most violence last year? Who controls the majority of the media? Everyone on late night talk show, everyone in mainstream media, The View, they all have the same political beliefs. And they also have the massive audiences that they do. They're able to disseminate all their information, all of the propaganda. They have so much more power than the so-called other side. It's just really obvious. Diversity is the enemy of unity. I like that. That's pretty true. Thank you for the super chat too. Appreciate you. The only diversity that truly matters is intellectual diversity. We want everyone to look different, but we need you to all think the same. At the moment, it looks like the left, but both sides are in lockstep. The right is just zombie walking to the same conclusion. Well, I agree with you there as far as, Republicans in the House and Senate are supposed to actually be the Freedom Party, the Liberty Party. If you look at the Republican Party platform, it's all been about freedom and constitutional liberties. But it's actually not the way that they're represented. It's not the way that those values are represented. You have a lot of people, because government's gotten so big. It's gotten so big and so powerful that you have people who will just give you lip service, just broken promises. Send me to Washington, D.C. I'm going to fight the left and socialism. Then they get up there, get their money from their donors, and they do nothing. They turn around and vote for red flag laws. Only recently have a handful of them started speaking up about the political prisoners locked in solitary confinement. You don't hear very many of them talking about mandates. So yeah, I agree with you there. I don't think one political party is going to save you. That's why if you've been watching this channel, I talk all the time about how you should vet your local reps. Don't just vote for them because there's an R next to their name. See if they have any primary challengers. Vet them. See if they're worth an endorsement. See if they're worth an interview. See if they're worth you voting for. Because there are plenty of Republicans that are not Republicans. They might as well be Democrats. I mean, the well-known ones are obviously Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger. Those are the obvious ones, but there's other people that kind of questionable. Don't give up, get out and vote. Be a poll watcher. We need a hologram of Princess Layla. Rand Paul, you're our only hope. Rand Paul's solid. Just like his father. So yeah, I think I should probably wrap. We're at an hour and 20 minutes. Mike, take a $20 bill, turn it upside down, and cover the neck with the thumb. The guy is wearing a mask on the $20 bill. I've not seen that. At first, I thought you were going to say, fold the $20 bill like an airplane. That's what I thought you were going to say. That's what I thought you, yeah. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Carmen. Christ is the author and the finisher of our faith. Tell you what, if you're living like there's no God, you better hope you're right. Orlando Cortez says Trump was the agitator. He stirred the pot. Trump did what every elite did. Why are we talking about Trump right now? Don't let him live in your head rent free. Are you one of those people that when someone tries to bring up valid points, you're like, well, Trump this. Are you one of those people? I hope not. God, I hope not. That's embarrassing if you are that person. You're talking to DM. I don't know if that's who you are, but if you are one of those people that just the only thing you can see is, oh my God, Trump, it's all Trump's fault. Trump did this, Trump did that. People have used Trump as a reason to not look at other things. Trump, they used him as a distraction. The media did, of course. Trump was flipping over tables just like Jesus did. Yeah, I could keep going, guys, because we have a big crowd, but I told people I was rapping, so I see the numbers have dropped just a little bit. But I'll tell you what, I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, depending on how much sleep I get, I'll be able to go at my normal time, 12:30, somewhere around there. And hopefully we won't have any issues with the social media. No problems there. But please, everybody, make sure that you give this stream a thumbs up. If you just tuned in, you have to like this stream. Please, it's important. Very important. Give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my backup channel. Links just got put in the chat. Or those are links to my PayPal and all this stuff. But there are links in the chat right now. Or you can just search on YouTube, Mike Nificent 813. Subscribe to the backup channel. Hit the bell. You don't miss any notifications. Because you never know if I'm going to be live on this channel or that channel. And yeah, that's it, guys. I'm wrapping up. God bless you. Thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to the moderators. Thank you to the super chatters. I'll catch you guys in the next stream. And no, don't forget, Epstein didn't kill himself.